We need to relocate this because someone's cut the hose about that big and it just won't fit anywhere. So I've taken it off and I'm thinking literally it should fit okay about there, or maybe about there. There is a possibility on the back of the exhaust bracket. That'll fit nicely there. I'll just get some hose. Otherwise, about there. As I say, originally it was just floating around there. So if we mount it here, we just need to get a longer bit of pipe and hopefully that will be able to undo. Okay, so we made a little mark on there, and what we'll do now is drill and tap it. Or what I may do, so that I have to drill it and weaken the structure, is maybe, because I need a spacer as well, I'll glue a nut onto there. We've got a little bolt on there now, so we can mount our brake reservoir. Just gonna do it this way round. Was it no? It was this way. And what I've also done is I've brought some 10mm EPDM or something along those lines hose, because it uses special materials to stop things happening with the fluids. So let's have a look, see. That's up there, so I reckon about that much will be fine. Get me bits, cut it. Yep, that looks like that will be absolutely perfect. So now I just need to get me little new clips, slide them over and mount it to the bike. So we've got this on there, we've got the new clip on there, so we put that up to there. That's perfect. That's a 16. A couple more washers to be fair. But yeah, that's going to fit on there. Quite nice. As you can see from microfiche, this bar goes with a little tang to the back of the bike. So I will need to take that off and turn that around. And get rubber mallet. Like that. That way it makes more sense. See the powder coat is slightly too thick in those places, so it's making it a bit difficult to go on. Alright, so find out what bolts they are. Like M8s. Yep, the M8's right. Just need to give this whole bit of a clean out because it's a bit tight. Okay, so we've measured up. Excuse the noise, but I've got tumble dry going. And cut to length an M8 bolt. Got an M8 flange nut and a washer there, and a penny washer on there. So we can stick that through there. There. That needs to be cleaned slightly. Yeah. Just to help clean through the powder coat. There we go. It's nice in there now. There. And what we're going to do, a bit of thread lock on the other side, because normally this is a drilled bolt. A tiny bit of thread lock. Another washer. And a flange nut. There we go. It's in. Tiny bit of thread lock. Penny washer on the back this time. Torsion arm is on there solid. So now we can think about putting the rear caliper back together and yeah, mounting that. Okay, so we've got a couple of new 10mm copper washers, banjo bolt which I've cleaned up, bit there, and that. So one copper washer over there, through there, second copper washer, get that started. Fits in there like that. Check. Don't actually think this is the right braided hose for this bike. As you can see, it's a little bit on the long side. But yeah, so we now have the ingredients for a bit of a rear caliper. So we have the caliper itself, a couple of slidey pins, circlips or R clips, rear pads, one back plate because I don't know if there was another one or not, and the spring, bit of copper slip, and a bit of living grease for the sliding pins, and some gloves. So I'm going to start off by applying bit of copper slip the back of the pads. Don't know why we do it. Well, I suppose it prevents squeak, but I don't know how it prevents squeak, but that's what you're told to do, so I'm doing it. And then on there. Okay, so I'm going to put them to the side. Give my hands a wipe. So yeah, for your dry lube. So I give them a spray. Put the pads together. Careful not to touch them. Clips come off. Slide that one in first. Slide that one in after. do, put that one over to that side. Might need some needle nose pliers. And I use these on my RC race cars to keep the body shells on. Right. Just one hole there. One in. Put the flats in towards the pads. Right, that was a very good clear picture there. So we've got pads in, our clips. And now, I believe this spring actually need to go underneath one of these. So that's it. Bish bash bosh. Job for that bit. One final case. So bleed screws, the rubber bit on, and that. There. And then I'll get put that back on. Leave that off for the time being. I'm going to change the pads. Might order the second one of them. So I'll get the other rubber cap for the other bleed nipple. Put it on. And then we're ready to mount it to the rear of the bike. A lovely new shiny. Okay, so caliper is all done, back together. New bleed nipples, new bleed nipple covers, check cover there, that's being plastic dipped, pads are in, all bolted up there, got a lovely new stainless banjo bolt. Now we're going to bolt it up to this. So, washer, bolt through there, bish bash bosh. Clip from the old hose. So put that in there. And now we can mount this onto the bike. Okay, so bolts, washer, shaft. There we go. Slides over like that. So I think it's going to be that way. Just okay, so yes. Okay, so tiny bit of thread lock to act as a lubricant and stop my brakes from falling off. And the same. That is around ready to bleed. We just need to put that up there. I don't know if you can see that. Just need to mount that up there. And yeah, we can then top up the brake fluid. Okay, that's been mounted on there. We might need a little bit more glue down the side there, but that's job for that. Now we can ignore the fireworks. And top up right, because we're going to be bleeding it, I'm going to use some old stuff first, just get the reservoir filled up, because all of this is going to be coming straight back out. and that will do for the time being. See, I've collected a little bit of fluid from there. Like I said, that's old fluid. So it's old, it's clean fluid. It's been sat a while, so it's not going to be really much use to use. But it saves wasting a little bottle of fluid. It can be used just for drawing through. You can see there, it's gone down a fair bit. So that's it for now for this section. Back brakes on and done, wheels in, water bottle's been redone. So next video I will be working on the front brakes and full bleed of the system, and proper finish bleeding the rears and putting the pegs and that back together. That's it for the moment. Okay, so we're going to do some bodywork stuff today. So we've got a different rear end, so I'm not using the original seat, so we don't need this section here to be open. So what I'm going to do, get a bit of fiberglass resin, and then we're going to fiberglass this up, and then we can use filler on the outside, so it'll be ready for painting. Before we mix up the hardener, we'll measure out some pieces. Enough. Got the hardener. Need a pea size lump of that in there. In there. Come on. There we go. Stir it up. What have you got to hand? To all the hardener is mixed up. Okay, as you can see, we've got some new resin, clean pot, and some stirrers this time. So let's open this up. Pour some resin in. There we go. That's what colour it's meant to look like. Put the lid back on. Squeeze a little pea-sized bit out. And stir it. Okay, so we'll let that dry. We'll let that dry out all around here. Then we can make some more resin up, fill the middle in. And do a third layer. Mix up another round. A bit stronger now because it's getting a bit colder. So that's fiberglassed in there, a couple of layers. We'll just leave that in there now to dry and go hard. And then we can do one more layer in the back, and then we can put some filler in the front. Okay, so this is all hardened off now. So that's the thin stuff. What we're going to do now is cut off some of the heavy duty matting. Give it some extra strength. Like that. And then that should be plenty strong enough on the inside. I need to mix up some more resin. Probably take quite a bit of resin, this will. It's quite a big piece. We're going to do it in two sections. We'll do the side and then that side and the middle, I think. See how it works. Give it a stir. To make sure the resin changes colour. So we know we've got enough hardener in there. Looks about right. Just pour it down, actually, make it a bit easier. so this is all nicely hardened now, that side there, and on there as well. What I'm going to try to do, rather than like use loads of filler, I'm going to mask off around here, get this as level as possible, and then I'm going to mix up some resin, pour some resin in here, so it's almost level with the rim. That way we can only need a tiny bit of filler just to get it smoothed and level at the top there, and so we can paint it, because painting resin is very difficult to do. Okay, what we're going to try to do, actually I'm going to put a bit of filler on from the bottom here. So we're going to try just to build it up along here. So that's got loads of glue in there, so when this cools down, we can layer up this middle bit again, and then I can get a knife and straighten it off, and then tidy up around here. Right, as you can see here, we've got a very crude sort of like stop, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but it's just like all the gaps filled up there, so we'll have a look, see what it's like. Let's put this here, get a spirit level and level it off. Okay, so I've got my spirit level app. You can see that that's level across where I want it. So now we're going to mix up some fiberglass resin and pour it in. There we go. So that is all the resin. We'll just leave that to go off. That seems to be holding nicely. As you can see, it's been fiberglass nicely. I've taken all the glue off and much of the lolly sticks as I can. Now we need to mix up some filler to go into here and to level it off the top here. Okay, so filler, hardener, scoop of that out. Take that off. Give that a mix. Okay. Just let that dry off. Okay, you can see now it's hard, the first layer. Now we can mix up layer 2, fill up the gaps, so it won't mix up as much this time. And yeah, we'll put that on there now, so we'll do that. I'm not too fussed about this bit because this bit is going to be cut off, so that can be a bit rough. It's just this bit along the top here. Just bash bosh. That's level 2 done. Okay, so that's done. What we're going to do now is going to put a bit of masking tape over this section so that I can cut it with a Dremel. See, that's levelled off. So you just need a bit of filler there. So what I'll do is I'll stick another lolly stick on the back. I'll put a bit of filler on the bottom here to flatten it off level. Okay, so this is pretty much good now. So what I'm going to do is going to quickly spray a little bit of primer over there as a guide coat. And then give it another rub down. And see any low spots. And not feather this corners off here. And should be ready to sand down the rest of the tank, and then ready for painting. As you can see, it's quite low in the middle still. So I might mix up some big filler to get that a bit more level. Okay, I'm hoping this one final layer of heavy body filler will be enough to make it level. Another 10-15 minutes should be hard enough to sand down and dry. Right, so that looks a lot better now. If we put this here, there's no big gaps now underneath of it. A little gap at the bottom there, but that's fine, it's going to be underneath the saddle. Sand it smooth, and final layer of poly filler at the top, and boom, done.
Many hours later.
Okay, now that is level. Just need to get these bits off, clear it on over Dremel, and we're good to go. But now I'm going to try to get the stickers off.